YouTube. It is so good to be here again with you guys today. You are watching the coffee shop show for entrepreneurs. I am Christine.
And that would make me Peter.
And we are the co-founders of Explore Protech Entrepreneurial Haven. We are literally coming to you every single week for 1 hour, just connecting and bringing entrepreneurs from around the world together. Guys, we have an epic house full of entrepreneurs on the screen today. I am just so in awe right now. I am over the moon. Let me just say a very, very warm welcome to all of our guests that you guys can see on the screen right now. Remember, we will be linking every single person's LinkedIn link in the description below. All you have to do is go down below the description and click, and you're connected with the best people in the whole entire world.
It couldn't be easier.
Literally, we spent 2 years meeting all of these humans, and you just need to click. You're welcome, okay? So on that note, coffee shop show, remember, it's just like we're going into a coffee shop for an hour and you're going with your best friends and we're going to have a real good chat, except we're chatting about entrepreneurial stuff, right? So this is your safe space where you get to share your experience, learn from other entrepreneurs. Various industries are represented over here. Various countries are in the house. And we just get to share and learn and connect. And we do this for a whole hour. Okay, guys, so on that note, I want you to interact, engage in the chat with us. Let us know if you have any questions. And then let's introduce the topic for today. So today's topic is everything entrepreneurs want to know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm going to get my pen and paper. I'm going to take notes.
So let's start off with, what is it that entrepreneurs want to know? So guys, this is going to be a nice open conversation. You can literally come in with things that you wish that you knew, that no one ever told you. You can come with things that have made the biggest difference in your clients' lives.
Oh, I wonder if I could start off, because I probably needed to know the things that I didn't know.
Okay, but let's limit it to one thing per person so we can rotate, because we have so many guests. Okay, Peter?
No, that was it. Things I don't know. That was it.
Oh, yeah. You're done now.
I'm done.
You're right. Okay, guys, so let's see from all of our amazing entrepreneurs. We're so keen to chat to you. What is it that entrepreneurs want to know or should know or have to know or need to know? I'm so keen to hear from you. So let's start off right away with the best leadership coach in the whole entire world, Mr. Stephen Levy, the coach that we built our business on, the person that caused Explore Protech's retention rate to go from 50% to 98%.
You make it sound like he's coming into a ring.
It was amazing.
Round one.
Yeah, round one. Here we go, Mr. Levy. Oh, yes. Remember, guys, please, when you give us your answer, and then please end with who you are and what your business name is and a little bit about what you do. We're not looking for elevator pitches, but something like, that was Stephen Levy, Dare to Be Coaching and Beyond. I educate leaders, etc., whatever. That would be amazing, so guys can get to know you. Okay, Mr. Levy, let's go. What is it that entrepreneurs want to know?
It's quite interesting, Christine. Good evening, everybody, or good afternoon or morning, wherever you are. And I just got off a session with an entrepreneur, so I'm going to share, because the subject topic is quite broad. I think there's a lot of things entrepreneurs want to know, and I'm sure they're going to get all the answers from everybody here tonight. So I'm just going to focus on what we discussed in our session. And the one thing that stood out was absolute clarity of where they want to go. But the standout there was, whilst they need to have clarity and understand where they are and then form that roadmap, it only serves as a reference. And what worried her was that, can I divert? Can I not divert? And, we all know that there's no guarantees in life, especially 2020 taught us that. But we need to have something that we can reference to. So when you're learning along your journey, is to actually plateau, take time to spend time in that space where you review and assess, understand why you're going there, wherever you're going, And if you do divert from it, it's okay. As long as you've assessed it, call in people for help, get advice, get opinions. At the end of the day, it's your decision to make, and you need to accept that. But when you have something to reference to and you do make a diversion, you are in control of that intentional diversion or detour that you make. So whilst we're not in control of what causes it, we are in control of actually making it. And that was something that we discussed and I think opened up for her, that you don't have to follow this path and you're not allowed to shift from it. We learn along the journey. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share. That's Stephen from Dare to Be Coaching and Beyond, converting managers to leaders.
Epic. Thank you so much, Mr. Levy. And what a beautiful story, I must say. Like that, almost like sums up for me what you've done for us, because that's something that I wanted to know from the beginning, and I continue to ask myself that at least 5 times a day, sometimes every 5 minutes.
Sorry, let's redo that. She continues to ask me that 5 times a day.
We're like, where do you focus your resources? I mean, someone that's like super entrepreneurially minded, and I know Richard especially can relate to this.
Because if I recall correctly, there is no box.
There's no box, and it's just like squirrel, 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 and we're like, why do we have a Mr. Levy? Why do you have a business buddy or whatever you have, like a business coach or a mentor? It's to make that call and be like, what do you think? Should I focus on this right now, or do we do it 3 months down the line? And just that feedback is like so freaking valuable. That's like magical. So thank you so much for raising that, Mr. Levy. I think that's like an epic thing that entrepreneurs need to know, is where do I focus my resources so that I have the highest probability of success. Am I getting it, Levy? Yay, I got it right. Okay, awesome.
No, you don't have to ask me anymore.
With that, let's move over to one of our favorite wellness coaches, Pamelia. Let's hear from you. What is it that entrepreneurs want to know?
Well, when you start your business as an entrepreneur, you have a passion, a focus, and I should say, I, in the past, have thought I had to do it all by myself. And so wisdom that I would pass on after learning the hard way is you need a team of people with you. You definitely need somebody on your side, definitely a buddy, a accountability person buddy. I have one. We meet every Monday morning and we've plotted out what we're doing for the week, but it's just a way of staying accountable. But also a team, like a team of people that you can talk to for advice. And, you know, they don't need to be employees and you don't need to pay them, but most people are very willing to assist a new entrepreneur in getting their business up and running. So that's what I'd say. Accountability buddy and a team of people who support you.
And that is Pamelia Parham from Vibrational Healing.
Yes. Why do I always forget that? Pamelia Parham, Vibrational Healing. I'm a certified body code and emotion code practitioner. I assist my clients in releasing those unprocessed, negative, or trapped emotions out of their subconscious so they can be as healthy as possible.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Pamelia.
I've got lots of those.
What? Vibration?
Trapped emotions.
Team members. All of the above.
All of the above.
Okay. Thanks for sharing, Peter. Thank you for bringing that up, Pamelia. I think that is super, super valuable. I mean, like, I never knew this until Stephen Levy and Peter Kingston got hold of me. But working in a team is just so much easier than being stuck by yourself. The other thing that Mr. Levy spoke about in our leadership tribe training the other day was, you know, your team, just like Pamelia said now as well. isn't necessarily your employees. Sometimes they're employees, they outsource contract providers, they're suppliers, they're customers, they're anyone that is involved in your shared vision, that's helping you work towards the shared vision. And all of those parties can actually be doing that. So it's so much easier to do it in team format. So
yeah, I think especially if you surround yourself with the people where it's as beneficial to them as it is to you, it has to be a two-way street. Otherwise it's a service and then it's paid for. Yeah.
So I think that's definitely something entrepreneurs need to know. Okay, let's move on to the one and only Linda Dent. Hit us with the hard facts, Linda.
Hi, everybody. Right, so I'm going to share the story of myself. When I decided to leave banking and start my own business just over 4 years ago, I had quite a lot of the things in place, right? Because as a coach, I'm a planner. So, you know, the plans were in place, but there were two big questions preventing me from taking the next step. And I think they're common to all entrepreneurs. Number one was, where am I going to find clients? Because I don't know anybody. So where am I going to find them? And two, how am I going to actually make money? And what happens if I don't? So they seem like valid questions that entrepreneurs would ask, right? So they were scary questions. They were holding me back for the longest time. And I've seen that happen to many people. There are some that will just go for it and fail. And there are those that will somehow scrape by. And there are those who figure out the answers to those questions. So number one, where am I going to find clients when I don't know anybody at all? Well, you're going to have to do some networking. So number one is join a network or several networks to meet people, to ask them, where did they find clients? How did that happen for them? Where are the places you can find them? And it's not only social media, guys, as much as we love LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, etc. Sometimes it's a phone call. It's actually traipsing around the neighborhood. It's going and talking to your friends, family, church, Rotary, Toastmasters, whatever network you belong to, and asking them if they're interested in what you have to offer, right? So that's just one. There's obviously a lot more, but that's what I did, and that had results. The second question of, you know, how are you going to make money? Well, it's a tricky one, right? But I would not say on a wing and a prayer, guys. I'd say a little bit of planning ahead to figure out what is it that you possibly have that's of value, and what is that value in rands or dollars or Canadian dollars or Swiss francs or whatever. What is that value? And sometimes you start small, right? So I definitely started small because I didn't have the courage to go in with the big guns. But you can adjust it. You don't put it on your website, your price list. You can adjust it as time goes on and as you develop the skills, unless you come in with a set of skills, obviously, like you're the best artist in the world or something, and you've got all you can demonstrate it with your portfolio. So every industry is a bit different. But if you can't demonstrate it and you're practically starting from scratch, then do your homework, start somewhere, go for it, and then adjust it as you go along. And that's Linda Dent. Just Ask Linda Business Coaching. I help you to build the business puzzle of your dreams. And my Explore Protech little tagline is, I help you to P with glee. That's not the P you're thinking of. It's the little green one, PEA. Plan, energize, act with glee. Grow, learn, empower, and enjoy. It's a big world out there, guys, but you can do it, I promise you. Stick with Explore.
Thank you, Linda. That is so valuable. You just took me on such a journey. Like, I still remember, like, being in that, like, startup entrepreneur, like, and thinking like, oh, where am I going to find clients?
We spoke about this before. I think Linda was at our very first event that we ever had. That was such a big mess. I'm surprised you're still here, Linda.
Yeah, I love works in progress, right?
That's obvious.
We were definitely in progress.
Yeah, but that's again just showing you exactly what Linda said. No matter where you are right now, you can probably figure out what you need to know and then implement it and then go for it. But it all starts with a conversation. There's no magic marketing plan. I mean, we have a Mr. Super Sales in the tribe, but even there, like, to get to your perfect marketing or your niche or whatever, you need to talk to people first and figure out what your value is. So I think that's epic advice from you, Linda. Thank you so much. Let's hear from Chris. Chris, what is it that entrepreneurs want to know?
All the things. You caught me like just that one moment when you have to do something. But anyway, like you say, just ask Linda and you'll know. Just on my side, something that I learned is know your niche. Get your niche right and be very clear on that and your target market, because it doesn't matter how unique your business is, your concept is, what it is that you're offering, somebody else does do it. And the only way to differentiate yourself while you're networking, while you're working with the team, while you're doing all of those things, one of the only ways to really stand out and for people to interact with you is have a very specific niche, something that really stands out, and get your target market right. If you don't know who your target market is, you're going to be doing some shooting in the dark and seeing what sticks and build it, and they will come. And you're really going to struggle with those things. Those were two of my biggest mistakes, because I could do a lot of things, lots of skills. And everybody I speak to is like, I can do everything. Just tell me what you want and I'll do it and pay me and I'm a happy man. But it doesn't quite work like that. You really need to know exactly what your niche is, what you offer, and be able to communicate that clearly in terms of the value. What are they going to get out of the call it in transaction between you and them? They really need to see it upfront, straight away. You got 3 to 7 seconds maximum. So if you're not niched, you don't know who you are and what you're about, people won't either. That's it for me, Chris Colby from Live to Dream. I do lead generation through networking.
Oh, awesome. Chris, I think I met somebody recently that can do it all. But people don't buy that. They don't buy into that because you're not clear on what you actually do. And I think the moment they clicked and they actually packaged in such a way that it was very specific as to what they achieve for a very specific client, the whole business changed. Mm. The whole business changed. I think it's very important to make it very clear. This is who I am and this is what I do. I think I should do that sometime.
I'd make things clear
as to who I am and what I do.
Good luck.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out. We'll get there.
But that's super valuable, Chris. I mean, one of the things, like, when we meet entrepreneurs and they're at that stage where you can see like they're an expert at something, but oh my goodness, you've been speaking to them for 45 minutes and you still don't know exactly what that is. That is where this becomes very, very helpful to know. So yeah, I think that is a very, very valuable point. And on that point, let's move over to the queen of niche marketing, Megan. What do entrepreneurs want to know?
Hello, it's so nice to be back. Hopefully my signal will play along. How's it, everybody? Yeah, look, I don't even know where to start because I think there's so many things that I could share. But I know this is going to sound weird, but start your business with your marketing, because believe it or not, marketing is not your website or your Facebook ad. If you do a proper marketing plan, you go through that process of defining who your target market is. You'll then also establish your offering, because I find so many people just launch something, and actually if you just took the time to actually identify a specific market, you could quite easily just specialize or package your offering quite differently, and that gives you a unique differentiator quite quickly. But we all just want to offer coaching, or we just want to all offer marketing, or we all just want to offer accounting, whatever it may be. But maybe just take the time to actually look at the market, where the market is at, whatever industry you're in. Look at who's the market or the target market you actually want to work with. Like, I totally encourage my clients to choose the clients that they want to work with. Because like Chris has said, you definitely can't service everybody. So service those that make you smile, I say. And then establish an offer for them. Because if they are startups versus an established business, even as a coach or an accountant or marketing, everyone's going to need something quite different. So if you kind of focus yourself in your offering on that, immediately you get a bit of clarity in your business. Because often, as I say, people, the first thing they do is they know what they know, right? So whether it's accounting or coaching, they know what they know, and they want to go out to the market and tell the world. And that's great. But quite frankly, often that's where we miss the golden opportunity. So that's when we start reflecting and we start looking at our website and we start looking at our content, and we actually realize what we're putting out there is what everyone else is putting out there. So what really just defines us? And so that's why I'm so passionate about the process of marketing, to define your business, because marketing establishes, like Chris has also spoken about, the 4 Ps. So essentially, it should establish who it is that you want to service. It should establish then what your product should look like. And then it should establish where you need to go and put that product to attract the right people. That is what marketing is. I believe your website and your social media is an extension of your marketing. I call it like advertising implementation. So just remember, if you haven't defined your niche or your offering, you're not ready to put your website together. 99% of websites out there talk about themselves and how great they are and what they can offer. It's not about that anymore. We know this. We need to understand what it is we're talking to. And those are the types of brands and businesses and services that will start building those relationships on a different level. So it's talking to the customer and not about yourself. So that, I think, for me, is a big learning, is going into your business with your passion, because obviously you're starting your business with something that you're good at, but just take the time, because not everyone else will, take the time to just listen to the market, see where it's going, identifying people that you want to service, how can you service them, and then package it to suit them. Don't worry about FOMO. You'll get a little bit of FOMO along the way, it happens, but you're missing out on such a big audience. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, because those people are going to come crawling into you anyway, because you're going to service this one market so well that they're going to tell their friend. And then you'll be at that point where you can actually say, no, sorry, you can go on to somebody else's service, and you can be at that point in your business where you can start turning work away. So that's really just what I would say, is often people leave the marketing till the end. And actually, it should be part of your initial startup strategic plan going into your business. Okay, so that's me, Megan, from the Marketing Lifeline. Over and out.
Preach it, sister.
Thank you, Megan. And how valuable was that, guys? I mean, like, if someone had just told me that, you know, like, I went into this like completely gung-ho accountant, like I'm going to conquer the world, but no one ever actually just told me that.
Yeah, marketing first, and I've gone and manufactured 50,000 plastic teddy bears and nobody wants them.
You know how often that happens? It happens so often. So, and if you haven't picked your niche yet, or you're not completely happy with your niche, the great thing is you can work with any of the marketing coaches or business coaches in our network, and they literally pass you between each other. So they'll tell you when you need a Megan to help you package your stuff. And that is absolutely just so valuable.
We've made it a whole lot simpler. Their links are in the description. If you've been listening to the chat and somebody has said something that you're going, oh, actually, I need to know more about that. Or actually, I want to continue that conversation. Or I want to speak directly to that person because that person has said something that really it resonates with me. The link is in the description.
Even if you're like the like me, and you're like going like, wow, what is a niche? Talk to Megan.
The link's It's in the description.
It's fine. We're nice and safe. Talk to Megan. Guys, next up. Oh my goodness. This is such a freaking VIP guest. One of the most VIPs of the guests on the show today.
I don't know. They're in close running.
They're amazing. But so for the first time ever on the coffee shop show, we're going to have Justin Hacker. He's one of the co-founders of Blue Cap AI, if I have that correctly. I just know it's like freaking artificial intelligence like you've never seen in your life before. Like me and Peter had a meeting with his co-founder and we were so freaked out. We're like, we're so into this, but we're so freaked out. It was like so cool.
It knows what I'm thinking.
It's insane. So Justin, for the first time ever, debut in the coffee shop. Tell us, why do entrepreneurs want to know?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I think one of the big things entrepreneurs forget when they kind of start up and then keep going for a bit is, invest in your tech, invest in your tools. Budgets for these they tend to be the lowest. I have an old laptop. I have an extra computer. I've used, free Gmail forever and it works for me. But once you start trying to run a business and you start using these leftover tools and free tools, you start seeing gaps that are costing you, anywhere from 30 seconds to 5 minutes in your day. And, a lot of entrepreneurs, they think, a lot of what I'm doing right now is free. It's for myself. I mean, I'm not on the clock here or whatever. If my day lasts 20 minutes more or, whatever, it's fine. When realistically, you're setting a bad precedent for yourself because, as your teams grow, you're going to be using the secondhand or cheapest tech for them too. And, as you start adding, a couple minutes to everyone's day, that's, lost productivity, frustration. Frustrated teams aren't productive teams. And I've seen it in lots of businesses I've been in. We've avoided it with our own because from the beginning, we just said to ourselves, you know what, if someone wants some marketing tool or someone wants something to make their programming that much easier, we're going to do it. And the productivity and the happiness of your team is so much better when you do that. And you miss all this wasted time and frustration that people really don't put a high value on sometimes when they start up. I guess I'll just cap that off with what we do. And this may sound biased now, but I'm Justin Hacker. I represent Uncanny Lab Limited. We are AI and cloud consultants. We also develop a product, Blue Cap, which you were speaking of earlier, that kind of helps you get the most out of your meetings in terms of, everything from notes to understanding how people felt about what you just said to them.
Epic. Thank you so much, Justin. What an awesome debut on the shop today. And you're speaking about something that I, for one, am so passionate about. Because when I started up in accounting with my virtual firm, people were looking at the systems I was using. It was like the latest tech, and they were like, that'll never work. People don't want that. I can put a human resource to work in Excel, and it does the exact same thing. It's just that we take a day, but cost-wise, it still compares. So we're winning. And I'm like, we'll talk again.
For now.
Exactly.
So no, I'm so on point with that. Like even most of the business coaches will agree. If you put the base systems with the base people, right?
Yes, please.
That's the sweet spot. That's what Stephen Levy teaches as well.
That's the key to our success.
Base systems, base people. So you guys keep bringing the systems. Explore Protech will keep bringing the people, and Forbes 500. Here we come.
And it won't take a whole day.
Okay, next up, let's go to Hendrik. Hendrik, what do entrepreneurs want to know?
Oh, thanks so very much. I've been in a lot of network groups since we started this little company a year ago. And I find a lot of people are the same age as I am. It's either people that have been let go, they've been retrenched, or they've retired and they have a second breath and start a company based on all the knowledge that they have. And I think the one problem that old buddies like I have is how do we get seen and heard? So we grew up with what we call old media, radio, television, newspapers. So if you want to get your business known, the first thing you think of is listing in the yellow pages or taking out a small ad in the newspaper or getting a billboard. And I think what a lot of people don't know, especially the older generation, is that new media is obviously the way to go, especially if you want to reach a younger audience. So new media obviously is websites and all the social media platforms. Online radio is something to take into consideration, as well as podcasting. So there are all these new channels that you can use quite effectively. And also in the old days, it used to be, your business used to be situated around where you are. If I'm in Pretoria in South Africa, my business would be roughly around my neighborhood and so on. These days, it's an international thing. So you can easily reach people from around the globe using new media with something like podcasting. Podcasting is relatively easy to do. And the great benefit of it is that you can repurpose a podcast very easily into all the bits and pieces that you need for your content marketing campaigns. So all the people who are starting out should really consider new media and take advantage of the tech that is available to us these days. So I'm Hendrik from Baird Media. We do podcasting, obviously, and we help people with their content marketing campaigns.
Awesome. Well, Hendrik, with TV and radio and ads in the paper, you're doing better than I was, because I first started out using Morse code, but it wasn't working for me. I think I'm going to move over to Braille.
Used to have a man with a stick and an envelope running.
Thank you so much, Hendrik, for that epic contribution. I love it. Making use of the latest new tools. That's definitely something entrepreneurs should want to know more about.
I'm a tool. Use me.
Anyway, on that note, let's go to Paula. Paula, what is it that entrepreneurs want to know?
Hey everyone, so awesome to be here. First time visitor, so great to connect with you all. I think what I've learned in my journey is you need to have the right foundation in place, especially where systems are concerned. So, whether it be a CRM tool, whether it be your financial package, whether it be a bookkeeper, but you need to have the right support systems in place. And that also includes, I think, what this network is, just based on our discussions we've had, is I call it your circle of steel. So it's this ring of steel of people around you that not only is a support structure, but it also becomes a referral structure as well, and a collaboration structure, because you can bring people in with different skill sets, because I know what my strengths are, but I also know what I'm not good at, and I'd rather surround myself with people that can bring their skill sets, and together we are much more powerful and impactful. And so I think those are some of the things that I've learned in my entrepreneur's journey. And so, yes, I'm Paula Quincy. I work in the people development space. My underlying golden thread is creating healthy relationships at home and in the workplace. So I'm very much involved in what is topical right now, psychological safety, and activist for mental health and against gender-based violence.
Incredible, guys. Can you see what I said about having freaking the VIPest of the VIP guests on this show today? It's absolutely incredible. And I am going to definitely remember that circle of steel. I love the reference, Paula. How epic! Relationships is definitely the key to everything. So that's something entrepreneurs should want to know more about. Okay, guys, next up, another VIPest guest is Richard. I don't know what you do, but
we kind of know what he does, but whatever he does, he doesn't do it in a box, because there isn't a box.
There's a lot of it, okay, guys. So just Richard, what do entrepreneurs want to know?
Okay, there certainly is no box. I'd say that there's two that are very interconnected tips that I'm going to mention. First is know your stakeholders, and more importantly, know their stakeholders and their stakeholders and their stakeholders as far as you can go. If somebody doesn't buy something from you, there's usually a pretty good reason. And it's not always because your product's not the right one. It's because they can't justify it to their stakeholders. They've got somebody else that controls their budget, that oversees their decisions, that actually really very much is the rationale behind them actually committing. Because if they make the wrong commitment, they're going to look very silly in the eyes of their stakeholders. So they care more about their stakeholders than they do about you. So one is know your stakeholders. And the second is always focus on win-win. It's become a bit cliche, but no matter what, it's got to be a relationship where you're providing far more value, or at least seen to be providing far more value than you're expecting in return, no matter what that return is, whether it's payment or exchange or something, whatever it may be. So always focusing on making sure that people feel that they're getting something that's of greater value than they're given to give back to you is a great way to make it into a no-brainer for them to be able to kind of go, you know what, I want what you do because it's a no-brainer. And so think of something that you've got that's amazing and so wonderful. Why aren't people basically queuing up at your door? Those are the two reasons. So make sure you know your stakeholders, and make sure you know how to make it such a strong win-win. It's so compelling that it virtually sells itself.
Sells itself. I want one of those.
Okay, and I look forward to watching you tackle this part of the conversation, Richard. And you are? And you do?
Oh, if anybody wants to know what I do, then I'm always happy to have a one-to-one chat. I run a virtual events business because I travel around the world and enjoy running events from wherever I'm at, which is a lovely situation to be in. And we also have some life-saving products that we invented because of very, very tragic circumstances. We've tried to create a silver lining to that very, very dark cloud. And we're actually out trying to actually save lots of lives and make a real difference. Simple as that.
Incredible. Thank you so much, Richard. I also happen to know that you offer some of the best workshops to entrepreneurs who are building their businesses.
We do indeed.
Yes, I did cyber stalk you. Are you proud of me, Justin? Anyway, thank you so much, Richard. Like, what valuable advice. That is insane. I haven't ever thought of it like that. Like, you have to know your stakeholders. But I definitely agree with it. That's something that I'm going to take away from this conversation. Absolutely fabulous insight. Guys, today for the first time again, oh my goodness, on the Coffee Shop Conversation Show, one of our newest tribe members, Nicolene, what is it that entrepreneurs want to know?
Thank you. I think as life as a lawyer brings you interesting stories, and I definitely resonate with a lot of what everyone has said. And I think the point that we really miss as entrepreneurs, particularly when we start to talk about the less exciting stuff, the law, and often it's perceived as such a, it's not an income generating expense. It is a dead expense, or that's how it's perceived. But we miss the core point here, and that every relationship you forge, including these stakeholder relationships, I really like that comment. Understanding who is behind which stakeholder and what the interests are so that you can find a win-win situation. That's really what it is about in order to have your legal structures in place. So I think I'm lucky as an entrepreneur. I've got legal training, so I have a deep understanding of this. But every day that I work with entrepreneurs, I realize that we see legal or law as a grudge purchase, something that instills or ignites shame, whilst it's actually one of the most fundamental tools to ensure that we build sustainable, strong relationships and we maintain them. We don't just forge them, we keep them. And we keep them because that document becomes that thing that becomes your compass when life happens, when things don't go the way you thought they were going to go. So I would encourage a mind shift around the legal components. And again, back to the systems, agree with that as well. Your systems get tested, particularly if you're in a remote or a hybrid working environment, when you don't have a micromanagement style within your organization. And personally, I feel you shouldn't have. But the point is the gaps really start showing the minute your team grows or the minute you are not physically present. And that's when the legal structures, the behavioral mechanisms, the policies, all these boring things become a saving grace and become living pieces of a puzzle that need to be maintained and that need to chisel that culture you are seeking to have in your organization, that output you are seeking to produce. It all goes back to the humans and the tools we use to maximize the potential and the collaboration with whichever stakeholder, in or external. So that's my 2 cents worth. I'm Nicolene Skumandlo from Skumandlo Incorporated. Yes, I'm a lawyer. And we also have 2 tech tools in order to make compliance less of a cumbersome grudge purchase and more of a journey in your own business.
Nicolene, wow, what a debut. Guys, she's like a lawyer, but like also not, because I'm not afraid of her. Isn't that amazing?
I like you. That's why.
Didn't we have this discussion recently?
Thank goodness.
Where individuals that start their businesses don't actually understand the law, therefore they run their businesses the way that they think it should be run.
And then end up in all sorts of hot water.
They end up in all sorts of hot water. Then they're sort of applying for certain certificates or positions or places, and the powers that be go, no, sorry, but you don't qualify because you're actually illegal. What you're doing is actually illegal. Then you've got to go backwards and backtrack and fix. And so, a lot of the things that have been mentioned today in regards to the tech and the tools and the law and the marketing, so clearly these things are things that you need to consider before you actually really launch. Would make sense.
Yeah, for someone like me, we just jump in and then we see how long it takes to drown.
We jump in, we burn.
Absolutely.
But guys, the one thing that I did do that I'm so thankful that Nicolene also raised, like the one thing I did right when I started my business in terms of systems was I was like, who's a lawyer and do you want to be friends? Like literally, if you can make friends with someone that is an attorney, you will thank yourself for the rest of your life. I'm not even joking. Like I didn't plan to end up in hot water. I'm not someone that like goes out to, I just naturally end up. But like having that friend that's an attorney just by accident that you can call and you can talk to, and they don't charge you just for a phone call, and then they're like, let's do this, and you feel like you're actually being taken care of, guys. Like if you take one thing away from this coffee shop, we have Nicolene here. Just click on the freaking link and connect with her.
All the lawyers in the world are going to wonder why all of a sudden everybody's being so friendly.
Just make friends. Don't do business cold. Make friends. Okay? Okay, I'm so happy today. Darlene, let's move over to you. What is it that entrepreneurs want to know?
I want to know everybody's Calendly link.
I love that.
Because I'm madly trying to make appointments in here, and I'm missing some of the conversation. It's like, I got their LinkedIn link, but I need their Calendly link. So I'm wondering, can we, when we ask for their LinkedIn, can we also ask for people to include their Calendly link in so we can make appointments?
Well, I think for those that want to provide it, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I think let's put it for those that want to provide it. Yeah, let's go with that. Because it's not my problem. You have 7,000.
Yeah, and some people don't use Calendly. That's just it's kind of like when you're going for a Coke, but you're not going to really drink Coke. You know what I mean? Or coffee. So what people want to know as an entrepreneur is like, I don't think it's that it's not that they want to know it. Like Nicolene says, it's that they need to know it. And it's a have to know it. And that's like when you're talking about all the safety securities of what you need to have to protect your business. And so many people, like how many people are thinking of PIPA? I don't know if we have the same terms as South Africa, but we have PIPA, and I don't remember the names for them all, or PIPEDA, like all of those different things that are going to protect your clients. And that's one of the things that needs to really happen, is the protecting of the clients. But also, I think when a person is new to being an entrepreneur, there are so many summits and events and so many different types, and there's so much information on the internet that you get overwhelmed. Like when I think of when I first started thinking about doing the scam prevention as a business, one of the things is I invested so much money on training that I'm not using because it's not quite fitting in with what I'm doing. So, but I didn't know that, because everybody, when you're first starting out, and of course I thought I knew everything because I'd been in the proposal writing business for 37 years, and I was a program manager, and I created so many programs in the organization that I worked with, but somehow it just doesn't seem to fit in with what I'm trying to do. So I think that, knowing who to speak to. So, if a person can, right up front, get a coach. You need one.
I love it. And if you don't want a coach yet, even just get in touch with us. We'll allocate you a business buddy, right, Darlene?
Yeah, and definitely like join a network and join this network. Absolutely, this one. It needs to happen because there's so many wonderful people here, and I can't believe the newbies, like they're just rocking it. I guess. Justin, I have to say, as soon as you spoke, I was trying to make an appointment on the on the thing, and as soon as you spoke, it's like, that guy sounds like a radio announcer, a podcaster.
I love it. Awesome, cool. So that is Darlene Petrie from?
I'm Darlene Petrie from Scam Prevention International, and I am in Canada, Western Canada.
And you are the next Oprah Winfrey of scam prevention.
You bet.
I love it, nice. Guys, you have been absolutely amazing. So Rona has posted a question for all of you beautiful people on the YouTube video. So we're going to read the question for you and then ask you to please go to the YouTube channel and go and give Rona your 2 cents. Just go and answer her question quickly in the comments. And I'm sure she will appreciate that so much from each and every single one of you. So Rona's question is, out of all the many things vying for your time, how do you decide where to focus your attention for the best results? Okay, so I'll tell you again, and then we'll put it in the comments as well on the YouTube video. But it's out of all the many things vying for your time, how do you decide where to focus your attention for the best results? So just go to our YouTube channel. You'll see this is the most recently streamed live, and go and give Rona your 2 cents so we can help her as well. Guests, tribe members, entrepreneurs, fans, followers, you guys have been absolutely amazing. We adore all of you. Entrepreneurship is the way that we're going to save the global economy. Like, we're going to do that one entrepreneur at a time. And this is just one initiative where you guys really have come together and you're helping us do so. So thank you so much for being here. We will be here every single freaking week for 1 hour, bringing entrepreneurs from all around the world together, just sharing our experiences, learning together, giving you people that you can connect to that can help you. And let's do this, guys. Let's rock this economy back to life.
Because it couldn't be easier. And why? Because their links are in the description.
Links in the description, guys. Okay, we'll see you again next time. Lots of love, and may all your wildest entrepreneurial dreams come true.